Alright, so today we're going to talk about topic 2F, which is finding the equation of a line given a point and a slope. So this is going to be the first time where we see this where we don't have the graph, or we're not just graphing the equation. So we're going to actually write the equation of this line if we're given a slope and a coordinate, or a lattice point as we can call it as well. So you got to remember here, y equals mx plus b is the equation of a line, and m represents the slope, and b represents the y-intercept. So with this, when we look at this, we're going to put the slope in for m, and we're going to have to find our y-intercept since we're just given a coordinate. So here we go. Example number 1. We're going to do, so I'm going to write it out. We're going to go y equals, and I'm going to replace my slope with 2, since that's what it is. So I'm going to underline it. My slope is 2, so I'm going to replace that with a 2. And then we have x plus, I'm going to make b into a blue color because that's what we're trying to find here. Okay, because we don't know our y-intercept given this coordinate of -7, 3. Now, given -7, 3 here, we're going to put -7 in for x, so that's why I'm underlining it here in green, because that's the x value of the coordinate, and I'm going to put 3 in for my y, because that's the y value of the coordinate. If we put those in for our x and our y, and we solve for b, we then can write our equation. So, putting these in here, we're going to put 3 in for our x, so we're going to have 3 equals. Then we have 2 times what is our x, and our x is a -7. All right? And then we don't know what the plus b is yet, so we're going to leave that a plus b. Now it's just solving like we did before. So 3 equals, well, 2, we're solving for b here, so we got to get b by itself. So 2 times the -7 is going to be a -14. And then we have our plus b on the right-hand side still. And this is still equal to 3. Now, I'm kind of running out of room here, so I'm going to move over here to the right. Okay, I'm going to move over here to the right. So we have, I'm going to rewrite it here. So 3 equals -14 plus b. So we got to get that plus b by itself. So we need to get the -14 to the other side. To get rid of a -14, we have to add 14. So this is just like what we did in the first unit of the expressions and equations. That's all we're doing right now, is we're just solving for b. Okay, and then we have b is what is left on the right-hand side. And that is going to be equal to, well, what is 3 plus 14? And that is going to be 17. Well, now that we know what b is, let's go back to our original equation that we had already filled in our slope. So I'm going to do this here in green here. Okay, and I drew an arrow, so I'm going to put the one with the star around it. Okay, we're going to rewrite this now. So we're going to have y equals 2, because that is our slope. I'll put that back in yellow. And then we're going to have x, and then I'm going to fill in the blue here for the b. So then we're going to have a plus 17, because that's what we got from our y-intercept, and which we solved for. And that is our equation for this line with the slope of 2 going through the point -7, 3. So that's the equation line going through the point -7, 3 with a positive slope of 2. Okay, so here's example number 2 now. This coordinate is -6, 13. And we have a slope of a -3. Okay, we have a slope of -3 here. So we're going to do the same thing. We need to put it in y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to write that y equals mx plus b. Our slope here we know is a -3. So I'm going to put that in for my m. Okay. Now we still don't know what we're going to leave an x and a y here. And we don't know what that b value is, that y-intercept. So we have to solve for it. So I'm going to do the same thing. My green is going to be -6. That's our x value. So I like to label these here. My y value that I'm given is 13. So I'm going to do that in red. And we're going to substitute those in the equation now. So we know we have 13. That goes in for y, which equals -3 times our x, which is a -6. Plus b at the end. We are solving for b again. So now that we have everything substituted in here, now we just got to solve for b like we've done in the past. So now we want you to try solving for b and rewriting the equation, and then resume the video when you are ready. Okay, so I went ahead and solved it now, and I got b equals -5. Okay, so you can see here down, I'll put a star next to it. I did all my work down here, and I got b equals -5. And then I rewrote my equation. So I have y equals -3x minus 5. That's the equation of the line with the slope of -3 through the coordinate -6, 13. Okay, the x and the y are going to stay just x and y. Even though we substituted earlier, they need to go back to x and y. And in the end, we just had our slope and our y-intercept that we just solved for in the equation. Okay, so y equals -3x minus 5 is the answer for that problem. Okay. Now, we want you to try example number 3 here with a slope of 1/4 and 8, 16. Okay, so we want you to try this one. Come to class with this one ready to go. So that way we can talk about this one when you get to class. So please come with the answer to this, and we will talk about this when we get to class.